Hey there, welcome, happy Friday. I've got a spooky season video for everybody today. This is going to be strictly just Mortician vinyl reissues that finally just came out from Relapse. I got them all in the mail yesterday. Super excited. I'm going to show them off today. Everybody knows who Mortician is. You don't need an introduction to them. The horror movie death metal masters, I would like to call them. I'm sure pretty much everybody calls them that. But Relapse finally reissued a bunch of their records. One of them I got a couple of weeks ago. It was released early on accident on Bandcamp. I was able to get it. I showed it off in another video, but I'll show it off in this video too, just to, make sure that it all stays in one selection of the video, and you can see everything all in one. But let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off with Mortal Massacre. This is the first time, this was the first record released by the band. It consists of their brutally mutilated 7-inch EP, and then also Mortal Massacre 7-inch EP, which were live tracks that were recorded from two separate shows. So this is basically a comp of some of their earlier works. Brutally Mutilated. Did I say Brutally Massacred? I think I said that wrong before. Came out in 1990. Mortal Massacre came out in 91. So this is a pretty cool reissue that they did. I have never been one to go hunt down 7-inch EPs to add to my collection at all. So I'm happy that they did this, that they put this out on vinyl. So I got which one did I get? The custom color merge with splatter edition. I don't know. Is this the 6? Yeah, this one was limited to 604, I think. It's a double LP. I'll show you the records first. 45 RPM, which is nice. I generally, sound quality tends to get a little bit better when it comes to that. So yeah, it's this nice splatter. Looks really good. I think both of the LPs look completely different in terms of coloring, so I'll show you both of them. I have not listened to any of these yet. I unboxed them and I'm recording a video to get it up, but I'm planning on diving into these the next couple of days. Obviously, the next couple of weeks. This goes really well with Halloween and October, spooky season, as everybody likes to call it. So it's a nice gatefold. These are the standard Relapse reissues that have been coming out for the last several years. Pretty much these remind me of the Nile ones because of how they're all gatefolds and they're really nicely done. So there you go. And then here's the back of all the track listings there. There's some live tracks. The second LP. Actually, no, and B too. Yeah, there's some live there, yeah. So again, I haven't listened to this yet. I'm not as familiar with these EPs. So it's been a while since I've listened to any of these songs. But typically, I'm not a huge live music fan. But this was, still cool that they reissued this. And I snagged it, so I'm happy about that. So that's the first one that they reissued. Next up, I'm going to show you the other EP, the two other EPs, and then I'll show you the records. So this is House by the Cemetery. Everybody knows this. I showed this off in my last video, last week, about the mystery that I was trying to solve. This is the Black Ice with Splatter edition. I don't remember how many of these they pressed, so let me just pull it up really quickly. Because I've found out recently people really like when I call out what pressing it is and what it was limited to, so I'll start doing that as I remember. What's not listed on the website? Oh, no, it is. There it is. This was 2,508, which is a funny number. And this is the only variant that they reissued for this. So there you go. And this sounds good. I've been listening to this. So this sounds really good. No surface noise, no compression that makes it sound weird or anything like that. They did a nice reissue of this. So that's the printed inner sheet, and then I will show you the record. The record is awesome. This is probably one of my favorite pressings that I've gotten recently in terms of a colored edition. It just turned out really nice. Oh, that's upside down, but you get the point. It's that black ice it's like that. I feel like black ice, everybody's pressing these black ice variants right now. Like my Frozen Soul from this year is black ice, and there's one other one that I showed off not not too long ago that was also considered Black Eyes. So that's House by the Cemetery. And next up, the other EP that they reissued is Zombie Apocalypse. This is probably my most listened to Mortician music that I'm most familiar with. It's one of the first, some of the first songs I ever heard by them. This came out in 2000. No, sorry, that was a live album they did. When did this come out? 2000? No, God, it wasn't 2000. 1998. Yeah, there we go. 1998. So originally it was a 7-inch EP or 7-inch single, and then they've put this into an EP now. What was this limited to now? 2,432. Sea blue with white, bone white, and metallic gold splattered. These names, man. This is considered, I feel like this is probably one of the more popular releases in terms of Mortician that a lot of people tend to show off and talk about, and probably some of my favorite music. But yeah, this splatter looks awesome. It turned out really, really nice. Goes really well with the album cover. And then I will show you the jacket. So it has, what's the one? Blood Harvest. Yeah, that's one. Hell on Earth, Slaughterhouse. Yeah, Zombie Apocalypse. Yeah, so these are some of my favorite Mortician songs on here. I feel like this was reissued as a first press a while ago, but I feel like they just did a reissue of these not that long ago. Was it back in 2020? Yeah, it was 2020 that they reissued these. So it's been a couple of years since these have had a reissue, but they've been hard to find, and they've been selling for stupid amounts of money on Discogs. So I'm glad they finally went around and did another round of reissues. The last reissues, there was like 3 different color variants, and it was this one like sea blue that I would see everywhere. But again, people were selling it for like hundreds of dollars. It was just dumb. So, yeah. There you go. Okay, so now we're getting into the albums they reissued. Their first 2 albums, Hacked Up for Barbecue and then Chainsaw Dismemberment. Domain of Death, I feel like that was reissued not that long ago by Relapse. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. It might have been Darkest Day of Horror that I'm thinking about. No, I think Hell's Headbangers did Darkest Day of Horror not too long ago. I don't know, but they've reissued the first 2 albums, so these look awesome in terms of the color. So the one that I ordered is Custom Tri-Color Merge with Splatter Edition, so generic sounding, Hacked Up for Barbecue. This was Royal Blue, Red and Bone White Tricolor Merge with Royal Blue, Red and Bone White Splatter Standard gram. This was a Relapse.com exclusive. It was limited to 592 copies. These number runs are interesting. They're just not straight up like 600 copies, 2,000 copies. But yeah, so here we go. This is a nice gatefold. Awesome, awesome stuff. Lyrics, and then obviously the promo. Here we go. Title tracks. The tracks on the other side, of course. And then double LP. Both LPs look completely different in terms of their coloring. This looks awesome though. Turned out really, really nice. Sometimes these colored editions with all these different types of colors just don't turn out these nice, but these look really, really good. And the coloring, like I said, is completely different from each one. Like that one's a lot more red and pink, and then this one's a little bit more purpley on the other side. So yeah, so there's that. And then the final one to show off today, that's still available. None of these are sold out, so if you want these exact color editions, you can go to relapse.com and get them. Chainsaw Dismemberment. I love this album. I think this is the other one that I probably listen to the most in terms of Mortician music. So there we go. Nice gatefold here. You got Will with the shotty. Is it the sawed-off shotgun? I can't remember. Is it the sawed-off shotgun? I don't know. That looks intense, though. And then the chainsaw blood splatter on the other side. So again, another double LP here. This coloring is pretty cool too. It's kind of like that blood splatter on blue. So it goes really well with the album cover. Again, these turned out really nice, and these relapse reissues have sounded really good. Like I've said, I've got Suffocation and Nile and Nazem, Pig Destroyer, Dying Fetus. Like those are all the ones I've been buying this year that sound spectacular. No surface noises, no skips, no pops, none of that stuff. They sound good. So that is all of the Mortician reissues that this is probably some of the most anticipated records that I've been wanting in my collection. It almost feels kind of sad for me because I have been hunting a lot of these for years now. Ever since I've started collecting death metal records. When I started vinyl collecting, it wasn't death metal. It was mostly jazz, classic rock, and some like alternative metal music that I still listen to here and there. And then I started getting into finding more death metal records and adding them to my collection. So ever since I started collecting death metal, specifically death metal vinyl, the Mortician reissues have been some of the ones that I've been hunting the most for. Even OGs, and there's been a couple of times where I've almost pulled the trigger for an OG copy was well over $100, close to $200, sometimes even more, depending on what version it was. And I just told myself no, because in the state of vinyl records right now and collecting, I knew since they were owned by Relapse, and with how often Relapse reissues things, especially death records, they would get reissued someday to where I would be able to get them easily with no issues. Or if Hell's Headbangers did another run of them, I probably would have been able to snag them then. I just missed out the last several times that they happened because it wasn't, I don't know, life is weird. Sometimes I just didn't have the funds, or I wasn't focusing on this and was trying to work up my CD collection back then and stuff like that. So, but I'm happy that they finally did this. So it's interesting because these albums, the Dismember albums, and then a couple of the Suffocation records, they've reissued this year, Nuclear Blast and Relapse. And they have been some of my most sought after albums to get into my collection. So now it's kind of like, well, now what? Do I start buying new music again? Because I definitely have stopped buying new music this year a lot. I've been keeping up with it for the most part, but not like how I used to be. When I first started this channel, if you go back and watch the first 30, 40, 50 videos, because I'm well over 300 videos now, I only showed off things that had just come out like within a matter of days or weeks, and they were all brand new releases. I rarely showed off anything that was considered old school or like mainstream popular death metal, I guess you could say. And these last 2 years, I've been really focusing on getting these records that I've always loved, I've always wanted into my collection, and buying the new stuff has kind of taken a back seat, with the exception of obviously the few things here and there that I've been throwing in. And yeah, like when there's a big release coming, I get amped up for it. And now that I'm doing reviews for Heavy Metallurgy, I've been trying to stay more in tune with what's coming out, so that way I can pick something to be released. But for the most part, I couldn't tell you half of the stuff that's coming out within the last 12 months, within the last year at least. There's been so much stuff coming out that I know that I've missed, that people have sent to me to check out and buy, and I've just been like, hey, I've shifted my focus to doing this right now, but I'll come back. I'll come back to it. And especially since I just stopped buying tapes, because a lot of the stuff that I was buying before was, tape issues, and then they weren't getting pressed on vinyl until a year later or several months later, because another record label or another distro or something picked them up and finally reissued it on vinyl. But yeah, this has been some of my most sought after records to add into my collection. It feels kind of weird to say that I have them now. Because now I'm trying to think of okay, what do I want next in terms of death metal? And I feel like I've kind of reached the point now where I might start going back to buying newer issues of things and newer records. Because I got all the Black Sabbath albums too that I've wanted. I got all the Deicide ones that I've wanted. And yeah, Cannibal Corpse, I've finished that whole entire collection within the last couple of months. And yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just kind of a weird feeling. Like, am I going to stop buying death metal now for a while? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I might start doing videos of just, actual just review videos and just focusing on that and not so many collection updates and stuff. I have been buying a lot of jazz and prog rock and records lately because, again, I'm getting to the point where it's like I don't really know what I want now in my death metal collection because all of these reissues have been coming out and it's just been making me easy to get them, these ones that I've been searching for. So I gotta sit down and think about it for a while. I know there's some stuff out there that I've been wanting for a while. I just can't think of it at the moment. And it'll take me to be doom scrolling on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook for somebody to pop it up and be like, that's one of them. Like, I know Sinister, there's a couple of Sinister issues that Cosmic Key just put out that I definitely want to get, and I just saw Blast Beat Vinyl said, hey, I have them available now, so that might be the next couple of ones that I get. I've been looking through some of, like, Relapse bands to see, like, is there anything from the Relapse alumni that they need to reissue that I absolutely just want? Like, because they did Disembowelment too. Like, that's the other one that I got recently. Maybe some Devourment reissues would be nice. I mean, they just did Obscene Majesty not that long ago. It was available up until about a month or two ago. I have it on plain black wax, but it'd be kind of cool if they reissued that for other variants or something. I'm not a huge fan of Conceived in Sewage and the other one that Relapse has put out. I was thinking maybe that. They've done all the Dying Fetus, so they've done that. They've done all the Pig Destroyer. Maybe... I mean, Exhumed, yeah, they've been doing those too, and I really like Exhumed, but at the same time, I also own all their albums on CD, and it's not a band that I listen to a whole lot. It's not something that I've just been wanting, like, hardcore wanting in my collection. Yeah, I don't know. Mortician kind of rounded out. Like I said, Nile, Mortician, Suffocation, Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, like all of these, Dismember, all of these have been getting reissued, and it's been completing my collection because these are the ones that I've always wanted on vinyl for death metal. Maybe I'll start going back into heavy black metal. There's a lot of black metal records that I don't own. Like, I don't own any Satyricon on vinyl. I don't own any Darkthrone on vinyl. Well, that's not true. I own one Darkthrone record. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'm blanking because I'm not in the black metal mood. But anyway, maybe I'll just start doing black metal. Who knows? I'm rambling now. But that's all I have today. Let me know in the comments, what are some of the most anticipated records that you want to get into your collection that you've been hunting for? Maybe you can get my creative juices and my motivation flowing. So that's all I have today. Have a great weekend. Happy Release Friday. I don't know what comes out today. I know the new Rolling Stones album comes out, but does my audience really care about that? It's good. I like it. I've listened to it. Autopsy comes out soon, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, anyway, that's all I have. See you guys in the next one.